Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Edge Sports Network. Hope you guys are staying safe and healthy. We got another interview for you guys today with Ethan Wilson, South Alabama left fielder. Ethan, thanks so much for joining us here on the site today.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Great to have you on. I want to start off here. I know you're from Alabama. Obviously, when you're making that college decision, you have a lot of options, a lot of options there to choose from. So, what kind of made you choose South Alabama to continue your playing career and academic career for that matter?
Uh, Coming out of high school, I wasn't highly recruited at all. I had two offers from Troy and from South Alabama.
Hmm.
Um, and so, I went on a visit to both. Both my parents actually graduated from Troy, so I grew up going to some Troy games and had been to their campus a lot. Went on the visit, had a great time at Troy, but
Hmm.
after coming on the visit to South and introduced to the coaches, and I really liked the goals that they had in store for me and for the team moving forward. So just fell in love with the campus and everything here.
And I mean, you had a great high school career. I know you played baseball, football, and basketball. When it comes to baseball, I mean, you hit over 300 every single year, over 400 3 years, and you hit 529 with 10 home runs and 41 RBIs in your senior year. And you also went 12-0 with a .65 ERA and 112 strikeouts in just 62 innings that season. So not bad at all. When it
Right.
came to college, how'd you kind of make that decision of whether or not you were going to pitch? Because obviously you could do everything kind of well. So how did it come down to choosing playing a position rather than being a PO?
Yeah, I think that I was a decent pitcher in high school. Never really threw hard, I guess.
Hmm.
I would say 83, 84. Just could kind of throw any pitch in any count and could spot up really well. So
Hmm.
that's really how I got a lot of guys out. But coming to college, I've always loved hitting, and there's no way that I could ever be just a pitcher only. So yeah, I talked to Coach Calvi, and we made a decision that I was just gonna play outfield and hit every day. So I was fine with that. I knew that my arm only had a certain number of bullets left in it. Honestly, I know that
Hmm.
pitchers throw all the time, and so yeah, I kind of talked to Coach Calvi, and we made that decision together.
Yeah, I'd say you made a pretty good decision. You hit 345 your freshman year with 17 home runs, which was a school record. You also had 51 RBIs. I mean, how was that adjustment for you, and how did you make such a smooth adjustment to the next level?
Uh, I had a pretty rough fall early on when I got here.
Hmm.
It was very humbling to say the least. Faced some guys that with some stuff that I'd never seen before in
Hmm.
high school. Faced some lefties, and in high school we didn't face a lot of lefties, so that kind of caught me by surprise. But after I got some at bats under my belt and started to settle in, it was just like high school.
Hmm.
I feel like people tend to complicate other leagues. Like the higher up you go, I think people tend to put more pressure on you. But baseball is baseball, and that'll never change. So that's kind of the way I tried to look at it. Tried to slow the game down, and I knew that pitchers were going to attack me early with fastballs as a freshman because they didn't really have a lot of stats on me. They didn't have a lot of information on me. So
Hmm.
every time I got in the box, I was ready to hit. And, especially if it was a fastball that I could do damage to.
Hmm. I think a lot of people kind of realize that you kind of found the groove when you went on that 19-game hit streak and hit over 400 during that span. And I know you mentioned when you first got into college baseball, it was a little bit of an adjustment. So when you finally did get in that zone, I mean, first of all, how did you get in that zone? And once you're in that zone, how do you maintain that?
Yeah, it's baseball's a really tough game.
Hmm.
Obviously, it's a game of failure, and you're going to fail a lot more than you succeed. But I owe a lot of success from my freshman year to my teammates that I had that year. I never felt like a freshman at all that year. Just they lifted me up and made me feel like I was one of them from the jump. And
Hmm.
so just having that confidence, knowing that they were behind me, no matter how well or how bad I played on the field. just gave me the edge to play the way I did. And I think, obviously baseball's a game of confidence, and you have to have confidence to be a good hitter. And so I think once I got off to the start that I did, obviously had a really good series at Clemson, and then carried that on for the rest of the year. And I think that was huge for me to have the guys' support.
And you just kind of touch upon this, talking about confidence, but baseball is such a mental game. And, a lot of people say that more than half the game is really mental. So how do you kind of stay
Right.
mentally prepared throughout the course of a season? Is that stuff you do on the field, or do you do stuff off the field too to kind of keep your head in the right spot?
Yeah, I think there's definitely some stuff that you can do on the field, but I think a lot of it comes off the field. I try not to really think about baseball too much because it will eat at you. I think that there's a time and a place to, be locked in, and then once I leave the field, it's whatever else I have to do that day, or whoever. I just try to stay in the moment the best that I can. And baseball is really mentally challenging, just because you go through so many ups and downs. And freshman year kind of helped me to develop in that aspect of my game. I struggled. I know the stats doesn't look like it, but I did struggle some my freshman year, and there was a time when I was 0 for 15, I think, and I was in a bad place mentally, but that helped me to understand that there's always going to be another at bat. There's always going to be another game. So yeah, I just try to stay in the moment, no matter what I'm doing.
Yeah, you fought through that adversity. You end up being named Sun Belt Conference Player of the Year and Freshman of the Year, and you're also the Collegiate Baseball Co-Freshman of the Year, among numerous other accolades. When you come off a season like that, what kind of things do you work on in the off season? Is it more of the same stuff, or you kind of try and add some new aspects to your game that maybe you didn't have last season?
No, I don't think I tried to add anything. I think that maybe some added pressure from freshman year got to me a little bit last year. Just tried to kind of do too much. But yeah, I've typically always got off to a slow start. So my freshman year was the only year that I kind of was hot from the jump. And so, I don't think last year was anything out of the ordinary for me. I think if we would have kept playing, then I would have kind of found my groove and went from there. But no, I don't ever try to change anything about me. I try to be the same person every day, on the field or off the field.
So staying consistent and just kind of doing, same thing, right?
Right. Yeah. Consistency is huge.
Exactly. And I know, consistency kind of seems like a much bigger thing nowadays with the pandemic going on. I feel like we can't have a sports interview without talking about that. How has COVID kind of affected, you as a player, you guys as a team? This is kind of a team question too. How do you guys just kind of stay connected and keep chemistry up where we got a pandemic going on? There's no quit in this thing, and it's obviously been crazy. I know before we got on the call, we were talking a little bit about it with how it's affected travel and just the college experience, but how has COVID kind of played a role in this whole baseball experience that you've had in college so far?
I think early on, obviously, not really knowing what the future held for us, it was tough. Especially being cut off in the middle of the season like we were, about to get conference rolling, and we felt like we had a really good chance last year. So it was heartbreaking. It was miserable for us, but the way I look at it, I think I got better over quarantine, as a person and as a player. I tried to make it the best opportunity for me. I know that COVID has impacted a lot of different people, and I feel like I'm very fortunate to be playing college baseball. So I really wasn't as bad off as other people were. There's tons of people who lost their jobs, lost family members, who have been very impacted by this pandemic. So, now that COVID has been going on for a while, it's kind of like we're used to it, if that makes sense. Like we we know how to handle it better. We kind of stay in our circle and try to do the best we can at managing our health, and just kind of staying away from those who might be, impacted by COVID. So, yeah, I mean, it was tough early on, but I think, life goes on, obviously. So we just had to find a way to deal with it the best that we knew how.
Yeah, I mean, you've done a really, good job of kind of staying on track with things. Obviously, as you just kind of mentioned, COVID has affected a lot of people in a lot of different ways. It's kind of changed a lot of plans for a lot of people, but you're still on these draft boards, MLB Draft prospect right now. You're top 20 on a lot of these boards, including the one by MLB.com. When you see your name on a list like that, and I mean, I would assume ever since you've been young, the MLB has always been the goal. That's been the dream goal. You've put yourself in this position now. I mean, how does that feel? And does that add any sense of added pressure, or are you just kind of, as you kind of mentioned previously, you're just kind of going with the flow, taking it day by day, staying consistent?
Yeah, I mean, I think that obviously I see that. I see the prospects for the draft and all that. But I think the main thing for me to do is just focus on the team, and focus on what we're going to be capable of this year, because we have a lot of good guys. We got a lot of good guys come back and a lot of good guys come in, and so I think that this season is going to be one of the best that this program has ever been a part of. And I think that if I just maintain my focus on the team and doing everything and anything I can to help us win, then I think the rest of that will take care of itself. So yeah, I just try to remain consistent in my work. Get my work in on and off the field, and let all of that take care of itself.
For sure, without a doubt. I know, before we kind of wrap up here, just two questions for you left. First one's kind of a fun one. Second one, we always end on a pretty tough question. Not tough, but might make you think a little bit. But this first question for you here, okay. I know I was reading on your player page on the South Alabama website that you are a Patriots fan. I have to know, kid from Alabama liking the Patriots, I feel like it's a little bit rare. Can you give us a backstory on this? Our site's based out of Massachusetts, so for our local viewers, you're going to make a lot of people very happy, but I got to hear the backstory on this one.
I mean, I don't know. I don't remember ever saying that. I think they made that up, but yeah, I mean, I've always liked Tom Brady. I'm a huge Brady fan. So I guess I'm a Bucs fan now. I don't know. I mean, I like the Patriots. I like Belichick. But I mean, you obviously see what happened to them after Brady left this year. So, yeah, man, I mean, I like the way Brady plays. I think he's the greatest of all time, obviously. So.
Yeah, I think that's
funny,
what
though.
I saw it said I think it said fan of Tom Brady on the player page, maybe. Might not said page.
Yeah.
I might have tried to stretch that a little bit for the hometown viewers, get them excited here, but I'm sure everyone can respect that you like Brady. So I know I'm rooting for Brady here in the NFC Championship. I'm glad to hear that you are. If you were rooting for Rodgers, we were gonna have to do away with the interview. So that's always good right there. But my last question for you is, you can think about this for a little bit. I know it might be a tough one, but if you could describe baseball in one word, what it's kind of meant to you throughout your life, how would you describe it?
That is a tough question, because baseball has given me so many friendships, so many opportunities. Obviously, if I could describe it in one word, it would just be special. Just because special is such a broad word. It has so many definitions, but I think that baseball has just been my life, honestly, for for 15, 16 years now. And I think that just the friendships and the relationships that I've developed on all the teams that I've ever played on have helped me in life, and like the social aspect of life. Just I mean, I wouldn't trade baseball for anything. I'm grateful to still be playing and hopefully play for a long time.
Honestly, a great way to describe it right there. And You did good on the spot. That is a tough question. Trips a lot of guys up, so you did great right there. But Ethan Wilson, thanks so much for joining us here on the site today. Wishing you nothing but the best collegiately and beyond. It was great to have you on and learn a little bit more about your career, so we really do appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. I appreciate you. Thanks for having me.
No problem at all. We'll put your Twitter down below, as well as a link to South Alabama's baseball website, so you guys can follow along for news and updates with the team. But once again, guys, thanks so much for joining us here on Edge Sports Network. We hope you guys are staying safe and healthy, and we'll catch you guys next time.